Hello everyone, this is Rusty Bradshaw, and I'm going to dive a little deeper into the discussion about the United Football League. My previous video kind of glossed over the new uniforms, so first I want to talk a little bit about each team and their uniforms. As you can tell, I'm more of a traditionalist as far as uniforms are concerned. I like the longer sleeves, gives you an opportunity to do some striping and other artwork on the sleeves. So I'm not excited about the ones that are shorter, which gives you very little to work with here. So let's start with, but it is what it is. They've shortened the shoulders probably to cut down on the holding penalties. I say, having played myself, that with the longer sleeves, if somebody grabs it, you're going to see it. But with those shorter sleeves, they can get up there and kind of disguise what they're doing. Some of them aren't very good about it in the games that I've seen, but be that as it may. So now on to the uniforms. And when I'm done with the uniforms, I want to talk about the new rules. First, we'll talk about the Birmingham Stallions. And they are basically the only USFL team that survived from the reboot a few years ago. Now the Houston Gamblers are back, and thank you for that, but they're going to look a little different. Okay, now the Stallions uniforms. I would like to see bolder shoulder stripes for their uniforms, and go to the USFL website, or I'm sorry, the UFL website, and check out each team's uniforms, and you can follow through with what I'm telling you. Now, the thing that really got me with Birmingham was they went with yellow uniforms instead of red for the home jerseys. They're not really truly yellow. They're kind of a tannish looking to go with the original colors. But I really don't like yellow uniforms for home. I don't even like them for away. The San Antonio Brahmas, yuck. My favorite college team, the Wyoming Cowboys, they always start their first home game in yellow uniforms. And I love the Cowboys from Wyoming, but yuck. Stick with the browns. Those brown uniforms look good. I do like the design the Cowboys have on those yellow uniforms, and I wish they'd use them in their brown and whites. Anyway, we're off topic here. Stallions. I like the switch to a red helmet. I do. And the striping on the top. And the logo has always looked good since they redid it. But the yellow uniforms, the tan, yellow, whatever they call it, it just turns me off. And the Columbus Aviators, I think their uniforms overall are a good look. Okay? I'd like to see them put numbers on the shoulders. And their numbers have light blue inside with some trim numbers. Their uniforms are blue, okay? So I would like to see those numbers be white with the color trim. It's a little offsetting to have a color similar to your jersey color, even though it's a lighter color. But that's what I would do with the Aviators. The Dallas Renegades, I like their numbering better. It's certainly better than the last couple of years where they had the red trim and then the red thing inside. I didn't like that at all. Now it's more of a red with black outline on the home jerseys, which are light blue. And I'd also put numbers on the shoulders as well. And the same with the Stallions if they don't have them. I can't recall. The DC Defenders, Didn't have much of a change. They got rid of the camo on the helmets, and but what I would like to see with the Defenders, their current look is okay, but I'd like to see the silver be a little more bold, so it's not like just kind of a off-white, more bold silver. And I'd like to see him use silver on the helmet. Have a silver helmet with the D and the stripes. And again, put numbers on the shoulders. Okay, the Houston Gamblers. I think the look overall is good. Put numbers up on the shoulders. They're another team that on their home uniform, their jersey's black, the number's black with a couple of color outlines. Those numbers should be white. Keep the multicolor outlines, but make the numbers white. Looks a little better. I do like the logo on the side that looks like a poker chip. And I really like the old logo, the G with the star where Houston was. But this logo is not too bad. Okay, the Louisville Kings. Overall, I think they have a good look. Again, put numbers on the shoulders. And I'm not fond of the gray away uniforms. Maybe stick with white with gray pants. But the jerseys should be white. And you're going to see me seemingly contradict myself when we get down here a little bit, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The Orlando Storm, I thought, had an overall good look. They also need to put numbers on the shoulders. And I couldn't tell from the pictures whether they had stripes on their pants or not. If they don't, they should put some kind of striping on their pants. Okay, the St. Louis Battlehawks. Numbers on the shoulders. I'd like to see the wings on the helmets a little bolder, bigger, a little more flamboyant. And the helmet and the silver away jersey don't match, and they should match. It should be the same silver. Now, remember I mentioned I didn't like the gray away uniforms for the Kings, but for the Battlehawks it's not so bad because it's a very light gray and it's almost white. So I'm okay with that one. So that's it for the uniforms. Now some new rules. Like Abbott and Costello's old routine. Every season, new rules. Okay, first, any field goal 60 yards or more is going to count for 4 points rather than 3. I like this rule. And the reason I like it is because the farther you get out, there should be more value to a field goal. Another one that I really like, and if I'm not mistaken, this was something that was in the original USFL, is receivers only need 1 foot inbounds to complete a pass. That's going to make things a lot better in terms of offense. Okay, the red zone penalties are going back to being half the distance to the goal instead of the full penalty. Like if you're on the 20-yard line heading towards the opposing goal and you get a holding, or you get an unnecessary roughness penalty, which would have taken you back to the 5, now it's just going to be to the 10. I'm not sure if I like that rule. I kind of like the fact that they enforced the penalties fully in the old rules. And the UFL eliminated the tush push. I hate that play because for years in the NFL and other leagues, pushing other players was against the rules. Now they've made it okay for Jalen Hurts and anybody else who tries it. And it's not a fair play. Because if you got people pushing, I think they need to go to the rule where if you're pushing another player and helping him advance, that should be a penalty. And there won't be any punting allowed inside the 50-yard line. Now, if you're at the 50, you can punt, but if you're inside the 50, you can't punt. Kind of like that. It makes teams be a little more aggressive. Now, in overtimes, now each team is going to get 3 attempts no matter what. And these will come from the 5-yard line. If the game is still tied after those 3 attempts, then they continue to alternate until there's a winner, which basically is going to be another sudden death. Now the PATs are going to be a little different. The 1-point PAT is going to be spotted at the 25, which means the kick, they're going to allow kicks now. It's going to be spotted at the 25. The kick will come from about the 32 or 33. I kind of like this because 1 point, if you run or pass it in and you only get 1 point, that just doesn't seem to have much value. So kick them for 1 point. Okay. Now, if you want to go for 2, it's going to be from the 2-yard line. If you want to go for 3, it's going to be from the 8, which is 2 yards closer than it has been. They also tweaked the kickoff rules a bit as far as alignment is concerned. They moved the kickoff back to the 30, and now the kicking team will line up at the 45, and at the opponent's 45, the receiving team will line up at the 35 and can go back as far as the 30. So those are the recaps of the rules, and I've talked to you about uniforms. So now I'm looking forward to the season and just to see how it all turns out. Thank you for watching.